Welcome to Standard Voice News Channel. I am Samira Ibrahim. Here are your top stories for today. Standard Voice Television commended for its educative programs. The ban on recruitment of unqualified teachers still in force. Army creates special super camp in Katsina to beat bandits in the northwest zone of Nigeria. On business, NNPC raises petrol depot price marketers to sell at 168 to 170 naira per litre. And on the international scene, United Kingdom responds to NSA's petition against the federal government. Now the news in details. An educationalist and international renowned development consultant, Dr. Mikael Barrow, has applauded the establishment of the privately owned Standard Voice Television in Gusau, Zamfara State, as one of the best things that ever happened to the state. Dr. Barrow, who was in the state on an advocacy towards the development of education under the FHI 360 program, paid a courtesy visit to the station. He said the quality of programs being disseminated to viewers by the station are of international standard.
It is a great pleasure to be here, paying a courtesy call to the Standard Voice Television, which is a pride television station for all of us in Zamfara State and Nigeria in general. I have been watching some of the documentaries and programs prepared by the television station. To mention but a few, the coverage you made on the issue of fighting the insecurity that ravages Zamfara State is something that I watch with a lot of admiration. I also watched your special visit to the Emir of Maradun, in which you unveiled the objectives and the goal of the television station, which are really noble. Information dissemination with a sense of responsibility is key to the development of any society. So that visit that I really watched told me that this is one station to reckon with.
He said Standard Voice Television will continue to be the pride of the state and the nation at large. Receiving the guest, the chairman and chief executive of the station, Alhaji Ibrahim Dusara Kakakin Maradun, thanked the visitor for the courtesy visit. Alhaji Ibrahim Dusara, who was represented by his deputy Alhaji Ibrahim Garbatana Matawallam Mafara, said the station was established to give voice to the voiceless and served both the government and the governed in Nigeria and beyond.
Visits like this from erudite scholars is a pride to this television station. There are things that encourage us to do more on the objective of the television station, which is to inform and enlighten the people of Zamfara State and by extension the people of Nigeria as a whole.
The courtesy call was also attended by Dahiru Sama'ila Mafara, Chief Operating Officer, Malam Abubakar Ahmad, Director in charge of training, and the station manager Hajia Samira Ibrahim. Governor of Delta State, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, has said that no law of the country permits Zamfara State government to control and manage gold deposits in the state, noting the governors of South-South region will soon take up the matter with the federal government. Governor Okowa, who spoke at his 2020 quarterly media interaction in Asaba, the state capital, maintained that what Zamfara State government is doing is clearly an illegality, warning that if the matter was not properly addressed, South-South governors will have no option than to assume control of oil and gas in their states. The governor, who asserted that South-South governors believed in restructuring and resource control, hinted that the governors of the oil-rich region, ministers, lawmakers and other stakeholders will meet this Friday at Port Harcourt, Rivers State, to deliberate and take position on the matter and other issues. For more details on this story, Peter Phillips reports.
He also applauded the efforts of the South-South governors who he said, though could do better, were already doing very well amidst the challenges they face in the development of their respective states. The governor stated that the South-South governors before now have been talking about the need for restructuring and need for resource control, which he said they are obviously on that because they feel there's the need to restructure not only the country but the management of resources. Governor Okowa explained that there are acts in the National Assembly that guide the issue of oil production and with the solid minerals. Those are not covered in this act, and obviously this is already a sub-point in the nation's governance system, and will express this very strongly during the meeting taking place in Port Harcourt. He said they cannot allow laws in the nations to the point that it becomes discriminatory, because if people are allowed to process for their solid minerals, they should also be allowed to do same for their oil. The governor stressed that the South-South governors are going to be very hard and try to make their voice as strong as possible during the meeting. Governor Okowa believed that at some point in time, these discriminatory tendencies will have to be revisited in the nation at some point in time. Speaking on the demands of oil-bearing communities in the state to manage the 13% derivation accorded to them, the governor said it is important that they put their energy in the right direction because people have the wrong concept on what needs to be done. That's the report. I am Peter Phillips, reporting for Svtv News.
Kebbi State Government has signed a memorandum of understanding with a multinational medical company, Johnson & Johnson West Africa Limited, in furtherance of efforts to provide quality healthcare services to the people. The agreement involves prostate cancer support and partnership, mental health support and partnership, as well as HIV. The Commissioner for Health, Alhaji Jafar Muhammad, initials the Memorandum of Understanding on behalf of the state government, while the country manager of the firm, Mr. Gabriel Ogunyemi, signed on behalf of the company. On the occasion, Governor Atiku Bagudu, who presided the event, remarked that he felt honored to be associated with the partnership of a global famous company, Johnson & Johnson. Senator Atiku Bagudu said that the state government will implement the Memorandum of Understanding to the fullest and directed officials of the Ministry of Health to imbibe the practices of the company considered among the best in the world. The Kebbi State Governor, Senator Atiku Bagudu, on Thursday inaugurated the State Indigent Cancer Fund with 30 million naira. At the multifaceted event, Senator Bagudu also launched the State Cancer Control Plan as well as inaugurated the steering committee for the State Cancer Control Program, while the state-trained biomedical engineers were also awarded certificates of graduation. Speaking on the fund, Governor Bagudu stated that he was delighted to present 20 million naira graciously appropriated by the House of Assembly, in addition to the 10 million naira already provided. While noting that 62 cancer patients had since benefited from the fund, Alhaji Atiku Bagudu pledged to provide adequate money to the fund to function effectively, even as he urged the general public to donate generously to it. The governor also declared that cancer was very catastrophic to the patients and that it ranks as one of the most formidable public health challenges globally. The federal government has warned that the ban on recruitment of unqualified and unregistered teachers remains in force and that it will further be enforced more vigorously. Minister of Education Malam Adamu, who said this in Abuja, noted that to be qualified to teach in a classroom in Nigeria, such an individual must be registered and certified by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, in addition to the minimum teaching qualification of Nigerian Certificate in Education. He said the Federal Ministry of Education had, through the Universal Basic Education Commission, allocated funds for the Teacher Professional Development Program, stressing that the government will ensure the success of professionalization of teaching in Nigeria. Speaking through the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, Aksoni Echonu, Adamu said, in addition to the objective, government will ensure that teachers and education managers were exposed to current education policies, management systems, and teaching methodologies. The Nigerian Army has said the concept of establishing the Special Army Super Camp 4 in the Northwest Zone was to crush unrepentant bandits, explaining that the unit has been supporting the troops to protect lives and properties. This was disclosed by the Deputy Commandant and Director of Studies, National Defense College, Major General Elias Atu, in Faskari, Katsina State, during a media interactive session. The sustenance of the camp has already been assured because the camp was specifically designed to deal with strategic issues. The troops have been getting mutual support from other sister agencies and individuals. General Elias said they are also working with other stakeholders for quality information, which has helped them to achieve a lot. The Nigerian Army has the constitutional responsibility to ensure the total protection of the country, assuring that the logistics in camp will be properly distributed. The federal government is set to reopen the Kano and Port Harcourt international airports 3 months after it opened the Lagos and Abuja airports to international flights. Musa Nuhu, the Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, said this during a briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in Abuja on Thursday. According to Nuhu, the two airports will be reopened when the twin issues of ICT infrastructure and adequate number of staff to number the airports have been provided. Mr. Nuhu said the reopening of the two airports became necessary to decongest the Lagos and Abuja airports and subsequently make travels more convenient for passengers. He said ENCA was waiting for the Coalition Against COVID-19 (COVID) to provide the needed ICT infrastructure, while the port health services were already working to provide an adequate number of staff. Mr. Nuhu did not, however, disclose the exact date of the reopening, although he said it will be soon. President Muhammadu Buhari Thursday in Abuja urged international community and investors to take advantage of the country's diversity in human and natural resources for investment, noting that youth development, integration and employment remain priority for his administration. Speaking at a ceremony to receive the letters of credence of the ambassadors of Belgium, Mauritania, Austria and Norway at the presidential villa, the president said Nigeria is ready to pursue broader dialogue as well as enhance cooperation and collaboration on the basis of constructive mutual respect and shared vision for the future. The president said, as you may know, Nigeria is an ethnic and culturally diverse society with various opportunities which we seek to creatively utilize for the benefit of the people, adding that it is also a country with a huge population which is predominantly youthful. This poses peculiar new challenges to their own as Nigeria relates with other countries. It is our expectation that we should leverage on the advantages that can yield positive results in youth development in our country. The ambassadors who presented their letters of credence to the president are Mr. Daniel Bertrand, Ambassador of Belgium, Mr. Amedi Kamara, Ambassador of Mauritania, Mr. Thomas Selisinga, Ambassador of Austria, and Mr. Not Elif Lane, Ambassador of Norway. President Buhari said Nigeria enjoys very good bilateral relations with the respective countries and had collaborated at the multilateral level to achieve targets set by several international conventions and treaties. First Lady of Nigeria, Hajiya Aisha Buhari, has called on women in Nasarawa State to maintain high standard of sanitation and hygiene in order to enjoy sound health for themselves and their families. The First Lady was speaking at health advocacy-related activities organized by Future Assured in Nasarawa State. Mrs. Buhari, who was represented at the event by Zainab Qasim, Assistant to the President on Domestic Affairs and Event Management, emphasized the importance of maintaining high standard of hygiene by women, particularly during the COVID-19 era, reminding Nigerians that the pandemic is very much around. She said earlier in the year, the First Lady distributed food-related palliatives across the country to cushion the effect of the pandemic and is now distributing hygiene-related palliatives to assist to women who are unable to purchase such important items. She noted that providing support to women in rural communities is in line with the objectives of Aisha Buhari Foundation and Future Assured. On business, The Petroleum Product Marketing Company, a subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), has increased the ex-depot price of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, to 155.17 naira per litre from 147.67 naira per litre. The Petroleum Product Marketing Company disclosed this in an internal memo signed by Tijjani Ali. The memo, a copy of which was seen by a correspondent, said the new ex-depot price will take effect from Friday. The ex-depot price is the price at which the product is sold by the PPMC to marketers at the depots. In its petrol price proposal for November, the PPMC put the landing cost of petrol at 128.89 naira per litre, up from 119.77 naira per litre in September and October. It said the estimated minimum pump price of the product will increase to 161.36 naira per litre from 153.86 naira per litre. The National Operation Controller, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Mike Osatuyi, in a telephone interview with a correspondent, said the over 7 naira increase in ex-depot price will translate into an increase in pump prices. And on the international scene, United Kingdom government and Parliament Thursday responded to the NSAS petition by some Nigerians against the federal government. With about 219,702 signatures, the petition seeks to implement sanctions against the Nigerian government and officials over abuse of power by the operatives of the now disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SAS) and the alleged shooting at protesters calling for SAS disbandment. Reacting, United Kingdom said it awaits the outcome of Nigerian investigations into reports of police brutality, noting that it will not publicly speculate on future sanctions designations. The UK government is deeply concerned by violence during recent protests in Nigeria, which tragically claims lives, saying that its thoughts are with the families of all those affected. The Foreign Secretary issued a statement on 21st October calling for an end to the violence and for the Nigerian government to urgently investigate reports of brutality by its security forces and hold those responsible to account. Still on the international scene, President Muhammadu Buhari sent heartfelt condolences to government and people of Ghana over passing of the country's former president, Jerry Rawlings, 73, affirming that the entire African continent will sorely miss the sterling qualities of the great leader. President Buhari believes the passion, discipline, and moral strengths that the former Ghanaian leader employed to reposition his country over many years continue to reverberate across the continent and beyond. The president noted with commendation the unique role the former president played in strengthening political institutions in his country and Africa, stimulating the economy for sustainable growth, and vociferously championing the African cause by urging many leaders to work towards interdependency on the global stage, especially in areas of competitive advantage. President Muhammadu Buhari joins family, friends, and associates of the former Ghanaian leader in mourning his departure, assuring that the ideas that Rawlings postulated, particularly for development in Africa, and his sacrifices in working in various countries as an envoy for peace and democracy will always be remembered. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Standard Voice Television commended for its educative programs. The ban on recruitment of unqualified teachers still in force. Army creates special super camp in Katsina to beat bandits in the northwest zone of Nigeria. On business, NNPC raises petrol depot price, marketers to sell at 168 to 170 naira per litre. And on the international scene, United Kingdom responds to NSAS petition against the federal government. That's the news. On behalf of the production crew, Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Ibrahim Garbatunau, I am Samira Ibrahim, wishing you a pleasant day. Keep watching Standard Voice Television News. Goodbye.